Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and this is the Next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 473. Welcome everybody who is live chatting with me during the premiere of this class every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. sunny California time. And if you're new to our channel, welcome to you as well. We're glad to have you. And please, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, there's a little heart with an SMS over here. Just hit that subscribe button. We would sure love you for it. Now, what do I have for you today? Well, this is really technique based. There's almost everything that I'm going to be using in today's class you already own. You already have it. And if you don't own exactly what I'm showing you, you've got something so similar to it that you don't need to buy what I'm showing you. Now, if you don't have any of it, that's a whole different story. But the idea is to take the product you already have and show you maybe a new way of using it. And boy, do I have a new way of using some of this. I also have my next collection of Simply Defined dies and stamps. Yep, this month it is a die and stamp release, and Simply Defined it's an exclusive collection because it's mine. You can only find it here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and you can find the knockoffs on AliExpress and Wish. They will take the images from my website and literally knock them off next day. Well, it takes them a little bit longer than the next day. Probably takes them like 30 days to get it all done, but please don't shop there. Please. Not even just for me, but for all the other manufacturers out there who put so much time and effort into their designs only to have them show up on Alibaba and AliExpress and Wish. There's a reason why you're getting them for the price you are, because somebody already did the work behind them. So anyway, I've got Simply Defined for you dies and stamps and a product that, well, okay, so yes, I have a product from Pink Ink, which Creative Expressions, we get our Pink Ink designs through Creative Expressions, and holy smokes, artichokes. So I'm gonna do winner chicken dinner, and then I'm gonna talk to you about the product. And remember, Simply Defined is exclusive here. You can't get it anywhere else except for if you wait for 30 days. Perhaps you'll be able to find them on some of those sites that just, but that really is just about, I do very little private label product. We're not like those really big online stores that do a lot of private label. They have a lot of things that are branded their own name. I only do what I can't find from somebody else. We are all about supporting our manufacturers. So if I can get inks from a manufacturer that we know and trust and love, I'm gonna get the ink from them. I'm not gonna put my name on it. I don't need to see my name on it. The only reason I do my dies and stamps and card bases, because my card bases are extra heavy, is because they're my ideas and they're my designs and what comes out of my head. So I hope that you enjoy what I have for you this month. And I do hope that you find this technique something that might be a little bit unusual for you, but something that you are willing to give a try because it is inexpensive. And I guarantee you've got almost everything in your crafty stash to do it. Absolutely. Might be a little out of the norm for some of you, but hey, give it a try. I promise. You're gonna like it. And it might free you up a little bit, not be so focused in on everything being perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. Imperfect is the new perfect. All right, so let me do winner chicken dinner, and see who has got our $25 gift cards in their online account. Our first winner is Stephanie Armstrong. Hello, Stephanie Armstrong, is that you? Congratulations, you're a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and you've got a $25 gift card. Yep, look at the checks there. You've got a $25 gift card already in your online account. Our next winner is Lois Walden. Hello, Lois Walden. How are you doing? Congratulations to you as well. Is your $25 in there? Is there a check mark? Yes, it's done. Congratulations to the both of you, Lois and Stephanie. Yay. Now, how does Stephanie spell her name? Oh, Stephanie. I have a sister, Stephanie. I haven't seen her in years and years. It's a whole thing. But she spells her name Stephenne. My parents. What can I say? So, do you have to do anything to claim your prize? Nothing. Your $25 is already waiting for you to spend. And how do you get a chance to be a winner chicken dinner? It's easy peasy. You have to post a comment below. If you are live chatting over here, live chat comments don't count. You do have to post a comment below, and the comment can be anything. It can be about your fur baby, your kids, your grandkids, your work, your school, your hubby, your wife, your significant other, your dinner that you made last night that came out so great, or the dinner you made last night that you burned. Whatever makes your heart happy, just post something that's kind, we'll approve it, and then you go into the running to be a winner chicken dinner. Now, talking about fur babies really quick, I posted on Facebook that we got a new fur baby, and we've been struggling with a name because, well, there's Michael Sr., Michael Jr., myself, and James, and getting all four of us to agree upon one name has been tough, but I do believe we have come to a decision. It had to be Disney-esque. I wanted, because she is a Frenchie, and Frenchies, sometimes have, so they're walking on by you, you're like, did you do that? I wanted to name her Flower, after Flower the skunk from Bambi. I got vetoed hard by SMS guy James. He's like, no. I thought Flower would be cute. She's a little girl, and every now and then it's like, woo. So then we sat down and we wanted Disney-esque, and one of my favorite movies besides Mary Poppins and Snow White is Up. I don't know if you've ever seen Up, but my goodness, when we took our kids to see it in the movie theater, the first 20 minutes, all I did was bawl my eyes out. Michael, Mr. SMS actually looked over, because our kids were little, actually looked over at me and said, are you going to be okay and get through this movie? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm an ugly crier, let me tell you, I don't know. But the first 20 minutes of that movie is the best 20 minutes of any movie ever. So we all decided that Ellie, which is the wife in Up, we've named her Ellie. So our new fur baby's name is Ellie, and we're just excited to have her. And I'm thinking Mascot Mondays on Facebook, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So we welcome Ellie to the SMS. She comes to work every day with Michael, Mr. SMS. They are two peas in a pod. You cannot, where one is, there is the other. She's got her balls and her bed, and she's just made herself right at home in her new family. Okay, so we've done winner chicken dinner. I've told you about. I also want to tell you really quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on this, really quickly. Thank you everybody for your understanding and your patience. We had several SMS staff go out sick for 2 weeks. Yes, half our staff went bye-bye for 2 weeks. I am excited to say that on Monday, 2.5 of them return. You're like, a half? Yes, he only works 3 days a week, and he works about 5 hours a day on those 3 days. So that's kind of a half. 2.5 of them will be back here on Monday. We're still going to be down 2, but that's okay. It's a process, and we're just excited that that our half our staff is coming back to work, or a quarter of our staff is coming back to work. Whatever it is, the math, it gets me. So just thank you for your patience and your understanding while we've been dealing with. It was the end. It was a big hit for us to have that many people out sick at one time, but by gosh, we've been doing our best to ship you your orders just as fast as possible, and I am hoping that we'll be able to get caught up. We're not very far behind, actually, to get caught up. Once they get back in, we'll obviously be able to do more. So thank you very much for your well wishes and your kind words and your understanding, and I have passed them along to all of the SMS staff, especially those who were out sick. 2 weeks is a long time. So, okay, what do I got for you today? Let's tilt down. I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started for today. I've got Simply Defined. I've got a new product from Pink Ink. Oh my gosh, who knew? Who knew this would be such a great product? I didn't even know it would be such a great product. I saw it on Creative Expression's website 4 months ago, and I bought it, not knowing what it was. I just bought it, and I do that. I'll just buy stuff because it looks interesting and I have to play with it and see if I like it and what can I do with it, not knowing when I will ever use it. And SMS girl Elena, when she saw this release, said, "Can I play with that stuff you got?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can." And she played with it and I played with it, and it works so well, and it's just never seen it before, didn't know what I was going to do with it, but so glad I gambled, and my gut was like, I think you should buy that. I think that might be something that would be interesting, and it is. So I'm going to tilt on down. We're going to get started for today. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to post your comment below, and let's get started for today, okay? Down I go. Bye. Okay, zoom in and down and in. Gosh, I have such hardly anything on my table. It's a nice empty table. I've got room. Okay, so let's show you some samples first. Here's the die. Here's the stamp set. Oh, she taped it down. Okay. Die and stamp set. Ooh, or is it just... Come on. Just want to pull. There we go. So you can use just the die on its own, you can use just the stamp set on its own, or you can use them together. But then I also have this set. There's the die. There's the stamp set. Now, 2 of the sets are horizontal and 2 of the sets are vertical. So if you have the 2 horizontal sets, you can interchange the stamps and the dies. And again, you can use the dies just by themselves with something else. You can use the stamps all by themselves, or you can mix and match them together. Let's see, this is Doris and this is Belinda. Great job, Belinda. I love it. And then one of the verticals I have here, and open it up, and there's your stamp set. Here's your die. Here's your stamp set. And then the other vertical I chose to show you is this. Now there's actually a cut line here, and these are doors that will open up. But Elena made it into a cute little pocket, and she took half the stamp that comes with that one and made a bookmark. So just some quick samples to show you what we're going to be, what do the dies and the stamps look like, and this one is also Elena. Okay, so I'm going to pull out, and this is where I'm going to talk to you about, I did not do a good job last time. I did not do a good job at all. We have 2 different bundles on the stamps and the die sets. 2 different bundles. I have just the stamp. Oh, I have just the stamps. Oh, is it facing the wrong way? It is. That's why it did it. I have just the stamps for you. So if you just love the stamps, you can just buy the stamps, and you can get 1 or you can get all 4. Maybe you are not a die cutter, but you love the stamps, and the stamps are at an amazing price. Trust me. So 4 different stamps for you. And again, 2 are a vertical orientation, and 2 are a horizontal orientation. So if you just love the stamps, you can just get the stamps. But if you love the stamps and the dies, this is where we got lost last time. Because several of you, I think, thought that the dies were sold on their own and the stamps were sold on their own. Oh no. We also have it where you will get the stamp and the die together. Do I have a piece of white paper? Let's see, piece of white paper. So the stamp and the die. So if you're buying the die, know that you're going to get the stamp. The dies are not sold separately. The dies are only sold with the stamps. So if you're ordering something that has the die with it, You're gonna get the stamp. You don't have to order the stamp separately. I did not do a good job explaining that last time, and several people ordered the stamp set and the dies and stamp sets, not realizing that they were gonna get the stamps along with the die. So hopefully I've explained it better this time. You either get the stamp and the die as a combo, or you just get the stamp. It's up to you. And if none of this floats your boat, well, I hope the technique at least interests you, because it really is very cool. So there's the stamp, there's the die to go with it. It comes as a combo. If you don't need to order two different things. If you're ordering the dies, you're gonna get the stamps. And then the stamp and the die. All right, hopefully I explained it better this time. I'm sure I'll mention it again at the end when I show them to you. But let's get started. So I think the first thing I wanna do is just, maybe just play for a second. All right, I think I'm gonna play with this one. So I'm gonna use the stamp on this one. And there are oodles and oodles and oodles of different ways of coloring with this. Now this is a big stamp, so I may just go ahead and move these over, go ahead and stamp it upside down, just to make things easy for me. So let's bring over a piece of white paper. Big, but that's okay. Can I cut it down? Do I want to cut it down? Cut it down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to use my Hero Hues ink today. This is an India ink. It is a beautiful black and it does not move with water. When we get to the later technique, you need this ink. Memento will not work. Memento is going to move with the technique that we do a little bit later on. Right now, I just want to get this stamped. And I'm going to stamp it upside down just because I can. If you have a stamp positioner, go right ahead. Big stamps, it's easier to get holes in them where you don't get good all over pressure. So I'm just going to lay it on down and give it a back rub. Now this is the first time I'm stamping with it, so we'll see what the image comes out as. Sometimes it has residue and you need to stamp off or clean your stamp first. How do we feel about that, yeah? Oh, yeah, I feel really good about that actually. So quickly, just because some people have never seen stamping before or they've never seen coloring before, there is, in fact, maybe I'll just do it twice. Can I do it? Well, maybe I'll pull this one. And maybe I'll pull this one because I have room this way. So let's ink this one up. That way we have two. Now my India ink very well can stain my stamp. You have to know that that black may stain your stamp, and I am okay with that because it actually makes it easier for me to see. All right, so I'm going to stamp this one up too, just so I have two. Drop it on, and again, I'm just going to give a nice all over pressure. You can use a block if you would prefer and stamp the other way. You can use your stamp positioner. Came out great for a first time. I'm happy with that. Yay. All right, so now I've got two to play with. And you can use watercolor pencils, you can use colored pencils, you can use markers, you can use Copics, you can use Aussie Andrews $1.99 alcohol ink markers. Lots of ways to color this in. It's really up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to be using, because we're going to use them in the later technique, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the 30 pack. The 30 pack of the of the Violet Studios. So I've got a 30 pack of markers. These are the 2 12 packs. So I'm going to be using the Violet Studios markers. They're dual tip and they're very much like a Tombow marker. The only difference is you have 2 brush tips, one small, one large, as opposed to a brush tip and a bullet tip. These are the 12 packs, and we absolutely will have the 12 packs available for open stock. I'll tell you, it's cheaper to get the 30 pack because you get the 2 12 packs are about the same price as the 30 pack, and the 30 pack you get 6 markers for free for all intents and purposes. So I'm going to play with those today because we're going to use them a little bit later on. And I could absolutely just go in there and color. I mean, it really, let's see, let's pick something kind of. So it's got a really fine brush tip on one side. But then it's also got a bigger brush tip on the other, which is unusual. I haven't ever seen markers that have 2 brush tips like this. And just makes it easier to color. I can just go in there and literally straight color and just use my markers as a marker. And because I used that India ink, my ink is not smearing. The color I'm putting on top of it is going down beautifully, and I don't have to worry about that black moving. And I can just go in and color. It doesn't have to be anything more than that if you don't want it to be. It really is entirely up to you how you use them. And the colors are light enough that even using them straight, they're not covering up my black ink. And then I can maybe take my red, and with that super fine tip, take my red and do that really fine line of the eave. So coloring doesn't have to be hard. And you can go straight to the paper with your marker. Maybe just a touch of yellow. Or do I want to put, no, I'll do yellow. Touch of yellow behind my windows. And maybe maybe the red for the shutters. Use the smaller nib. Nope, that was the smaller nib. Okay, let's shoot. And just use my red for my shutters. So again, coloring doesn't have to be difficult. It can be fast, it can be easy, it can be efficient. If I want to go in there and add a little bit more of that first color, I can go in and add a little here and there to give my wood or my siding some highs and some lows. Entirely up to me what I do with it. So if you're worried about coloring, it's just about grabbing the right colors and going. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. but it can be more than that. If you want to get into shadings and if you want to get into shadows, let me put this one off to the side. I might come back to it. It can be, and that's where water gets incorporated. So palette painting I did last week, and the paper that I used last week was vellum. Did I do palette painting last? Yeah, I showed palette painting and then we moved to the vellum. So the vellum that I used last week hates water, hates anything liquid. What I'm going to be using a little bit later on, it loves water. It's like spray me, spray me, spray me. I'm happy when I'm wet. So we went from the polar opposites. Last time vellum that does not like water. This time a paper that absolutely loves water, and yet it's not watercolor paper. So to palette paint, super fast and super easy. So you throw some ink down on your craft mat. Get out your paintbrush, little water, and then you grab some of your paint or your ink, and you make your color. You make almost like a paint. Oh, that's very light. Too light. Let's get a little darker in there. And I can just go in and add some color. Super light color. Go in and add some color. And then I can go back in. Maybe I grab a little darker and we desaturate it a lot. So let me add some water to that and desaturate it a lot. Because then I can go back in and add some shading and some shadow. I can change my color if I want, darken it up. And where I have my little lines in my stamp is where I'm going to darken my color more. And I can literally just paint. So I've taken that marker and I've changed it from a marker into a palette of paint. So your choice how you want to get it done. It's up to you. I could come in here and let's just wipe this off. And let's grab some green. And some water. And mix in some water with my green. And I'm literally going to do this entire tree in the green. I'm just going to get a top coat or a first layer of color down in this lighter green that I'm doing because I'm desaturating the green. And I'm not using watercolor paper. I just wanted to get some color down. And then it's up to me how much color I want to bring back into it. The more ink I use and the less water I use, the more intense the color will be. And because I'm using the same color, just different saturations, different intensities, it blends beautifully. It will always look good because it's always the same color. You're not questioning whether this blend will look okay. You know it will because all we did was desaturate the ink. And then I could come back in with maybe a little darker green. Let's try this green. I don't know what this green looks like. I don't know that I've used this green. Ooh, who knows what we're gonna get? And I could do my little leaves. And I'm not being perfect, I'm just getting the color in there. Anywhere there's some place that looks like a little grass and shadow, I'm just putting my color down. A little more color, a little bit of water will give me darker leaves. The less water I use, the more pure that color is, the more saturated it is. And I can just go in and color. So palette painting, not palette painting, totally your choice. Just taking the markers straight, taking the markers, adding them with water, up to you. Easy to do either way. And when I'm done, I just wipe off my craft mat, wipe off my paintbrush, and I am good to start again on anything I want to start on. Put my markers away. You can do this. Very easy. And the stamps are big. The stamps are a full A2 size, as are the dies. This is an A2 size, which means you can do an A2 card, an A6 card. You can mat it up to do a 5x7 card. No problem. You choose what makes your heart happy. But what I want to talk about is the pink ink product. I want to get right into that because, well, it is totally different, trust me. Okay, so here it is. And you're like, but it's white. What is it? I know. Okay, so let me tilt on up. Oh, I know. Oh, wait a minute, that's not good. There we go. Hold on, back. Okay, so I was on Creative Expression site a couple months ago. And I was just tooling around, and I do that. I go to manufacturers' websites and I just toolie around because you just never know what they brought in that I don't know anything about. I've never heard about it before. It was never brought up to me before. And I'm like, this is interesting. What is this stuff? Well, it's rice paper. Rice paper? Just plain white rice paper? What would you do? Why would they bring in plain white rice paper? We know rice paper from Stamperia and Ciao Bella. I mean, yay, yummy, beautiful printed rice paper, right? And then we take it and we get it wet and we soften the edges and we put it on things and it's stunning. But this is white. So I thought, there must be a reason. There must be something you can do with it. But I've never seen white rice paper. To be honest with you, I've seen like rice paper printed like wood grain and all sorts of things, but not just plain white. So I bought it. I do that. I will buy things not knowing what to do with them or when we're going to use them, but I just get this gut feeling like, I bet there's something there. I do. And unless somebody shows you and teaches you what to do with it, You may buy it and then go, I have no idea why I bought this. I have done that. I have no idea why I bought this. I tend to do that more with shoes. I think they're cute in the moment, and then it's like, yeah, no, I don't know why I bought these. So, so when I got it in, it sat for a while because I had other things that I had to get done. And then this collection came up, and I knew I wanted to play with it, but SMS girl Elena said, hey, do you mind if I take some of that white rice paper and play with it with your collection? And I'm like, absolutely, go for it. Grab as much as you need. And she was playing with it, and at the same time, I was playing with it. Now, I don't know that she knew that I knew that. Wait a minute. I don't know that she knew that I was playing with it. I was going to say, I don't know if she knew that I knew that she knew, but that wouldn't make sense. So I had the rice paper, and I'm like, okay, well, I've got the stamps. And the dies, don't worry, we'll get to the dies, I promise you. But the stamps on rice paper, what if you could make your own beautiful rice paper? What if you could take all those stamps you already own and you could stamp onto your rice paper and color it yourself? Now, rice paper is different than most other papers. It is not a watercolor paper. It is not thick. It's very thin, but it's very well structured. It's fibrous, so it does not just tear apart. It will separate, but it's meant for water. Rice paper loves water. Like, you can add water, and then you can add more water, and then you can add more water, and it doesn't just crumble. And then when it dries and you want to go back and add more color, you can add more water even after it's dry. So it's not a watercolor paper, because watercolor paper tends to be thicker and it is opaque. This is translucent. What? It's translucent. You can see through it. That means when you back it, my heart be still. So we've used rice paper from Stamperia, and more so from Ciao Bella, in lots of YouTubes, but I've never had just white rice paper, and we're going to use it with the stamps today. But there are things you need to know. First off, I tried several black inks on this, and then I got it wet. Typically, a Memento ink does not run with water. It generally stays where you put it. Not on the rice paper. It tended to smear a little bit. Absolutely, and it's tended to blend in. The ink that I found that works best for this rice paper is Hero Arts India ink. Most of you already own this. It is probably my go-to. The Memento and this are my go-to ink. And I don't know if it's still true, but for the longest time we had the Reinker as an exclusive. So this is the ink you're going to want to use on your rice paper. You can try other things that you own, absolutely. And if they don't work, then no, at least you know what will. You don't have to get this if you want to try your black inks. Yes, try them. It doesn't hurt. And then if you find they don't work, at least you know what you need to go looking for, whether it be from Scrapbooking Made Simple or anybody else. Hero Arts India Ink Black. Yep, works the best. So we're gonna take this rice paper, which is, did I pull? Yes, okay. Take this rice paper. It's A4 in size, so it's more of a European size, but so is Sizzix paper. All of the Sizzix paper is also A4. There's 12 sheets of rice paper in here. And it really is dreamy. This made my heart so happy. Okay. Ooh, can you see how fibrous it is? All right, I'm going to tilt on down and we're going to keep going. So I just needed to tell you that this may be something that you're like, I'm not sure. And you have to know that this look is definitely more watercolory, abstracty, but man, is it easy. Holy smokes, artichokes. And it gives you that artisty feel and look to your projects without having to be an artist. I am not an artist. I'm a crafter, people. No fine art talent at all. I draw stick figures for people. That's about as good as I can do on people. So when you have a product that does the work for you, but makes you look like you're a rock star. My favorite commercial was the commercial where the mom, it makes the Rice Krispie treats, and it takes like 2 seconds. Kids don't know this, but Rice Krispie treats are not hard to make. And yet before the kids get home, she puts a little flour on her face and she spritzes herself with water. So she kind of looks like she slaved over those Rice Krispie treats. Well, that's what this is. This makes you look like you really put effort into it, but you didn't. And it's affordable. And you probably already own Tombow pins or dual tip marker pins, or you have the Violet Studio pins, and you probably own ink, and you have stamps. Okay, down we go. Yeah, I don't know if Creative Expressions and Pink Ink know what I'm gonna do with their product, but we're gonna do it. Okay, so let me just cut a piece. So as you can see, it's fibery, kind of like a mulberry fibery. And there are 2 sides. One side is more textured, one side is more flat. I haven't actually found the benefit of using one side over the other. Maybe you guys can. I've been using the more textury side up, and I've been using the flat side to glue down. But I don't know that I've actually found a better one side or the other. Now, it loves to get wet. And I think I'm gonna take a few colors just to start, just so you can kind of see what happens when it gets wet. So I'm not trying to blend. I'm just gonna let these colors kind of move. All right, so I'm gonna take my spray bottle and I'm just gonna saturate this. So the colors just like to go. And the wetter you get them, the more it desaturates them. And can you see that they're spreading all on their own? It's like a life of their own. They're just growing. I'm not trying to go in and paint with them. I'm not trying to do that. I just want them to move. Now, when I lift this up, the color's going to desaturate because some of it is underneath. And you can see when it's wet, you can see kind of through it, right? And you can see the colors moving and growing, and they'll just continually kind of fan themselves out. If I add more color, can I add more color? Sure, I can add more color. And if I spray water, this is just water. They're going to start to move. And the longer you let them sit, the more they fan themselves out. And then you've got underneath. So I have really got these wet. Like, ooh, so wet. See, look at my paper underneath is really wet. Let's turn it around. And again, you can see where they're just kind of moving and blending. It's not about painting with them. It's not about grabbing a paintbrush and trying to move the color, because the color doesn't move. Color doesn't move. Let's try a little bit of this green over here. And maybe a little bit of this blue. And then let's get it wet. And the colors will start melting into each other depending on how much water you use. They'll start to soften and move. Lots of water, you're going to desaturate. So you can see I've got some of the color has come all the way through. But now the color is moving into each other and kind of blending into each other and making a mishmash pattern. You can't necessarily see where the scribble lines were. And the more water I add, the more it will desaturate. I can add some on top if I want. Spray. And just let it do its thing. And it's not falling apart. It's not rolling up into little balls. Let's see. And this now just moves. And it makes this beautiful background. They just move. And they make a beautiful background. So what if I did that one? Gosh, I hope I have enough white paper. Holy smokes, artichokes. What if I just did that one? So now to tear it, I can put a little bit of water. And I just want to get it wet again. Can you see how it got wet again? And then I just slowly separate. And it kind of softens those lines out, if that's what I'm looking for. I'm making my own rice paper. So I can add a little water over here, maybe a little color over there. Let's bring in my blue again. In fact, I'm going to bring this one back. Maybe I'll just keep this one. And add a little bit of blue over here. And maybe a little of that green over here. And then spritz. And let it start blending out just like this side did. Let this one just start to blend out. The more water, the more it's going to move and it's going to desaturate. You got to give it a little. I'm not patient. I want to just keep spraying. And I know there's enough water on there already that I don't need to keep spraying, but I just keep wanting to spray. So now I can put it on here and see what I've got. And it's translucent. That means if I change the color paper that the background is, it's going to change what this looks like. So here it is on white. Here it is on gray. Look at the difference between the two. It changes the look. Here it is on kind of a sage. It changes the look because it is translucent. You pick out the color paper you want to back it on. What else do I have? Ooh, let's pull this one. Here it is on cream. You choose. And then when you've decided, you glue it down. What color do I want it on? Do I want it on the white? So when you've decided, you glue it down. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to get those other edges slightly softened like this one. So again, all I have to do is take my paintbrush. It's already wet, but I'm going to add just a little bit more water so I can just tear off some of that, just a little bit of that border so it's not so straight. I want those soft edges. So those soft edges. And then let's go down, straight down. That might have gotten rid of some of my blue. I might have to add a little more blue back in because I added more water to it. And then one last, I got this last edge right here. And it's got those fibers in it. Okay, so here I am. Now I desaturated that blue a little bit. So I have my opportunity. Do I want to go in and add a little bit more blue? Grab that blue again. Maybe hit it in a few spots. Just to bring some of that color back. And this time it's up to me. You know what? I can take my water over here. Oh, I don't know if I've got that in view or not. Let me scooch over a little bit. So I've got my water right here. And I can just touch my water right onto those blue colors, so that I'm not desaturating my green again, but I'm adding my blue. Cool. And now I can put it on. Now, how do you glue it down? Easiest way to do it is with a nori paste. Nori paste is made for tissue paper and rice paper and things of that nature. That's what it's meant to be used for. And so with nori paste, it's made from what, seaweed? Is that what nori is? So it's non-toxic, it's acid-free, it's easy to use, and a little goes a long way. Let me open this one up. So when you get your nori paste, and it comes in bigger jars than this, there's this little like piece of parchment paper right over the top of it. And you're just gonna take that off. Nori paste, as long as it's sealed, it doesn't dry out. You're just gonna take that little parchment paste off. It dries clear. And it doesn't harm tissue paper or napkins or rice paper. And a little bit, and you just apply to the edges and kind of fan it out. And this is your glue. It dries clear. So I didn't do anything hard. I scribbled and I added water. I don't have to cover the whole thing with nori paste. I just really want to get those edges down. You can cover the whole thing, absolutely. Do you have to? No. But if you want to, you absolutely can go over your whole, and then it's going to dry. It's really easy to use. I mean, really easy to use. So let's take another piece. And I need white paper for it to go down on, just so you can see it. And this time, what if we use some blue? And maybe a little, this might be too soft of a color, but we'll try. And maybe just a little. And then I can either hit it with water, or I can hit it with my paintbrush that's loaded with water. Ooh, this one needs lots of water. Oh, that needs more water. Maybe I'll do it with this one since it's already loaded. And I just go in and I just start to add. So for some of you, the first one might be easier to just spray. Others may want to go in and add your water with your paintbrush. And the more water you add, the more it's going to desaturate and it's going to move. But you have to give it a little chance. I want it to be done right now. I'm like, do your thing. And it's like, it takes us a few minutes. Now you can see it's not moving. I'm not trying to paint with it. I'm trying to desaturate and to get it to move. And if I want to add more color, I can. I want to add, oh, small. I want to add a little blue. Yes, it's wet. It's okay. These are dual tip. They're meant to be used with water. They love water. And then I can go back in and pick up water and literally just put it down where I want it to move more. Put some water down and just literally add it and watch it start to move. You're making your own rice paper. What markers do you own? If they're water-based, they're going to work. Alcohol ink markers, not so much. Not so much. Alcohol ink markers are not meant to move with water. And I just let it be. And remember, it's seeping through. So you also have that if you wanted to do something with it. But it's seeping through. And it's actually translucent when it's wet. It looks like there's nothing there. It's like, where'd all the color go? It's right there. Add more. The problem, where I struggle is that I constantly want to be adding more. I don't know when to say enough is enough. Let's see if it'll just kind of, it just kind of goes. With just water. So it's like a watercolor paper because it will just keep taking water upon water upon water upon water. But it's not a watercolor paper. It's a rice paper. So let me put those back where they belong. 1, 2, 3. And then, oh, I didn't do that one right there. And then I can take it and with a little bit of water, yes, it needs a little bit, just want to make sure that it's plenty wet. Add some down the side if I want to soften those edges. And I just literally pull. And I will have super, super, super soft edges. That when you add the nori paste, they kind of disappear. If it's not tearing easy peasy, you either have a fiber, so go around it, or it's not wet enough. Okay, there's one side. I'm going to move this way so I can see. Okay, so, and on my table, it doesn't look like there's anything there. And now my craft mat had some water on it, so I may lose some of my saturation, which is okay. You saw how easy it is to go back and add. Just want to take my edges and make them soft. Make your own background paper. And this isn't hard. Make your own rice paper. I'm going to stamp on it next. It is a super cool project, super cool product that gives you options that maybe you didn't know before. Let's see, what color paper do I have in here? Well, let's try, no, I want a blue, kind of a bluey blue. It's kind of a soft blue. What do you think of that? That looks gray. Green. that one already? I am such a person of I pick the same colors. I'm a creature of habit. I like the colors I like. Is that the same gray? It is. All right, so I'm going to use this one here because I've already got it. So there it is with kind of a gray background. There it is with kind of a cream background. There it is with kind of a green background. And I lost some of my blue. So let's put it back. I think I'm going to add some blue back in, maybe over here. Grab my blue. Darker. And a little of my, how about this purple? And a little bit of water. And I'm just going to touch on it. Because I don't want to desaturate everything over here. So I'm not going to spray it, because every time I spray it, my water makes everything move. Okay, and then let's put it back on this one. And I can nori paste, or if I want to add a little more color. Now that I see it against that, maybe I want to add a little bit more, just a little bit more. That's a really dark purple. A little bit water. And kind of let it do its thing. All right, let's nori paste it on down. So I work and go outward. I want to get those soft edges down. And up to you if you want to go over your entire piece. Yes, it's still wet. That's okay. It'll be fine. You can go over your entire piece or just the edges. If you go over the entire piece, that really cements it down to your paper. If you just do the edges when it dries, it can kind of, it'll be separated, so it can bubble up a little bit. I have an example for you just in case. So I've got my nori paste over the whole thing. And then I can cut it down. Now you may want to wait until your nori paste is all dry, but since I'm freehanding, I don't have to worry about a trimmer getting goopy. So you still have the the background coming through. But you've made your own paper. You've made your own rice paper. And easy to do. So it's still wet. So it's a little still wet. Can you dry it with a heat gun? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You don't want to wait? Got it. You can absolutely take your heat tool and go in and dry. Won't hurt it one bit. Man, this stuff is cool. And it's 12 sheets. I want to say it retails for like $11.50, but we'll have it on sale. So now I want to stamp with it because, well, where have we been so far? I showed you that you can take markers and you can literally just color your stamps straight from the marker. We palette painted this. We made a few backgrounds here. Once these are dry, I could stamp on top of these. There's really nothing you can't do. Once these are dry, if you want to add more color, you can go over and you can add more marker, more water, and let it bleed in again. You're done when you say you're done. Which is a problem for me because I want to keep going. Let me wipe down my table, and now we're going to stamp. So let's grab this one. So here's the die that goes with this stamp set, and this is fields of lavender and mountains and a little house and So I'm going to be working with the stamp. I'm going to grab a piece of nori or a piece of my paper, my plain white. I want to make sure it's big enough. Yep, that's good. Easy peasy stamp. I'm not even going to take it off the liner. I'm just going to leave it because I'm stamping straight to. I'm going to do a nice little back massage. I want it that way. So I'm going to be using not the side that's smooth. One side is definitely smoother. The side's a little more rougher. I'm going to use the rougher side, the more textured side. And that's the side I'm going to put against my stamp. I'm going to ink it up. Ink, ink, ink. And this is kind of going to be like when we stamped on vellum, where you can see the ink come through. But where vellum did not like water, rice paper loves water. If I told you that our new fur baby, Ellie, loves water, would that be too much? SMS guy, Michael Sr. went in to go grab a shower, and Ellie decided to join him. We did not know she liked water. She loves water. We've had her since Sunday. And she's just been the best thing ever for Michael Sr. She makes him get up and take her for a walk at least 3 times a day. So instead of me saying, Michael, you need to exercise. Michael, we need to get up. Michael, you need to move around. Michael, she does it for me. I'm not a nag. If I knew, oh my gosh, I would have had a little tiny fur baby years ago. And oh my gosh. he does it so willingly for her. I mean, if she wants to go out, he's like, okay, let's go out. If I say, hey, Michael, you want to go for a walk? He's like, huh? But if she's like, oh, let's go out. He's like, okay, let's go out. Whatever makes it work, whatever gets his exercise so that his walking gets stronger and stronger. And hopefully he won't need a scooter and a cane. So I'm all for, yay for Ellie. Okay, so you can see that where I've stamped, it's come through. And there's my image. Great image, perfect image, easy peasy image. I think I'm gonna stamp while I'm doing it. I think I'll stamp this one too. So this is the beach scene. Grab a piece of my plain white rice paper and let's zoom in just a little bit and there we go. And let's ink her up. And I'm going to use the rougher side against it. Down I go. And you can see that image starting to come through. And there you go. Stamps easy peasy. Now it's about taking, and gosh, I hope I have enough white paper. I think I will take half of a sheet of white paper to do this. So now it's about putting my color down. I can spritz it a little bit to begin with if I want, just to give the paper a little mist, and then I can decide what colors I want everything. So if I do my hills in a green, or remember the ink is going to move. So I'm going to put it in here. And then a little over here. And maybe I grab a slightly darker green. A little there. And maybe I do my mountains. A little here. And maybe a little more green here. And I'm not going to care if I mix my colors or blend them or have too much of something or not enough of something else. Maybe a darker brown. And I think maybe that's a good place to start. I think that's a good place to start. And then up to me. I can mist, but the more you mist, the more it moves, or I can come in with water and make it move that way. You choose. I think I'm gonna mist. And come in with a little water on some of the darker areas. Now it's gonna move into each other and spread out, and it's not gonna be perfect, but we're not looking for perfect. We're looking for a watercolory, kind of abstract-y kind of look towards it. And I need to let it go. Maybe I need a little green in there too. Maybe a little green on some of my hills. And either add some water with your, and I'm literally just soaking it. And then of course I need some blue for my sky. And let's get that sky moving and totally saturated. And it's likely that my blue is going to go into my brown and my brown is going to go into my green. And I want to make sure that I'm going off the sides with some of my color. I want to make sure that it's going, that it's extending out into the side. That way when I tear, I've got some color there too. So I'm coloring, but not really. I'm just adding a few colors. I try to stay with maybe 4, maybe 5 colors total. And I mean, it's really just blending out. Maybe I put some yellow in the houses over here. There's like a little village going on. Little house. And add a little water there. Remember, you're using rice paper. And we want it to be kind of watercolory, abstract-y. I can get rid of, if I'm not happy with some of my brown in there. On top of my mountains, I just add a little bit more blue. Go in with my water and blend. And I'm not trying to paint. I'm just dabbing that water to give it an opportunity. So I had brown up in here. Now I don't. I've got that dark green right there. And now I've got a little bit of color all the way around. I need to add maybe some color for my lavender. That one there. I'm trying to put everything away. I hear Polly saying, Polly, she's on chat with us every Saturday. I hear her saying, good girl. Do I want Do I want some color? I don't know, maybe bright. Maybe I go brighter. And maybe a little bit of gray for that walkway. So now I've put some brighter pink in there, and I'm just going to take and drop water right on top. And let it bleed out. Now look at my sky, how much it looks, I mean, it looks, I love the look. This, you may be going, I don't think so, but I don't know. Once we tear it out and back it on a piece of paper, you may be saying, I think so. And then you have this to play with. So this is everything that's bled through. And here, this looks like meh. But the minute you put it against the white, all of a sudden it comes to life. And that pink is bleeding out. It kind of looks like we have some flowers going on. Up to me what I want to do and how much I want to do and where I want to do it. And I'm not painting and I'm not coloring. I'm putting some color down. I'm adding some water to a paintbrush. And I am letting it do its thing. I'll make that grow a little bit over there. That way when I tear it, look at how far it's extended out. Now the question is, what background do I put it on? Okay, I like that one. So now I'm going to tear my edges. So I'm going to tear across the top. I might lose a little of my blue. I might have to go back in there and grab a little blue and add it back in. And I might need to tear down further. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how big I want to make this. And these are good to keep because if you accidentally tear too much, you can layer that back on. And nobody's going to be the wiser. It's going to blend right away. Let's tear, and I'm just pulling. If it doesn't pull easily, the paper needs to be, you need to add more water to it. It should just pull right off and soften those edges up. So here, I think actually at the bottom, I think I'm going to tear some of that bottom off so you don't see that so much of that straight line. Kind of tear a little bit of that bottom so it doesn't look so straight. Gosh, and I can do that with the side too. What if I took off almost all the side so that it kind of just has a very organic edge. Okay, that's good. And then one more side to go. Okay, let's put it back on some white paper and see if we're still happy. Do we need to add color anywhere? Do we want to add more blue to the sky? I don't know, are we happy? Are we not happy? Are you saying enough? Stop? That's my problem. I don't know when to stop. Think, oh, just a little bit more here, and maybe just a little bit more there, and what if I just add a touch, just a touch right there? And a touch of green up here. That green went into that blue. So can you see? The green went into my blue when it ran, and personally, I'm okay with that. But if you're not okay with that, fix it. Take a little bit more of your blue. Put it there. Add a little bit of your water. And fix it. All right, so what do we, I think I like it on this. I don't know if I need that much blue sky, but I guess if I'm making a larger card, I would. I have this that I can play with and do something with. That right there. And then my nori paste. And I just kind of pull down, taking those super soft edges and just adding to them. Maybe I don't need that much sky. Well, I'm here, so we're gonna have that much sky. And maybe now I want it darker blue now that I see it against this. I kind of lost some of my sky in there because it was against the white and I could see it better. So maybe I want to go back and add a little darker color to it. Do you have to use your finger with nori paste? No, but it's a really easy tool. No, you could try it. You could use a paintbrush to put it on, or a dauber. Okay, I'm down. But I do think it needs a little more blue. Let's see if I can get it to work and use a little darker blue. So I've either destroyed it or it's going to be just fine. I either went one step too far or we're all going to be good. Okay, well, I need to let it run and do its thing and mix. Lots of water. The total opposite of, no, I probably should have left it alone. All right, well, live and learn. So again, you're gonna probably want to wait until it's dry to try and trim it out. If you're using a trimmer, I'm gonna freehand this. And I've made my own rice paper. And it was easy to do. Shouldn't have done, well, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. You're like, enough, Stacy, step away from it. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna leave it be. And we'll come back. Now I just have more stormy skies. But I didn't color at all. I dab, 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 spray, water, spray, dab, 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 spray, water. And they come out beautiful. Backgrounds. Stamp on top, emboss on top. Whatever makes your heart happy. Let us go, let's take the other one. I did another one. And put this away and put this back, and this one goes here and that one goes there. Let's grab that ocean scene. And let's play with that one. So now I've got that ocean scene. Where again, I need to start with I'm going to add some blue for sky. It will go into my clouds. I could make those mountains if I wanted. What if I wanted those as islands? Let's make those islands. And I've got sand here. So can you scribble? If you can scribble, you're halfway there. Got some water here. And some sand here. some grass here. And some there. That's going to bleed out. I probably did too much there. And let's see what color this is. That might be too dark, but we don't know until we try. So now I'm going to give the whole thing a spray. And then I'm going to step away from the water and I'm going to let it start to work its way out. You got to give it a chance to do its thing. I'm terrible about giving it a chance to do its thing. I'm probably the worst. See, because I just want to keep adding water. But I don't need to add water. Oh, see, that bled way out. That was maybe a little too dark, but you know what? Let's add some water to that and see if we can get it to bleed out even more. Oh, yeah. See, this was way too dark. I went way too dark, but the more water I add, the more it bleeds out, and the more it bleeds out, the lighter it becomes. So then I can start to see the image that was underneath. And I can't, oh, that's not the right one. Put that one back. I can add some sand here and some water and kind of let that bleed out a little bit. Maybe I put a little green on my mountain because I decided they were islands and not clouds. Let that bleed out a little bit. And I've got my little fence there. So let's add some of this color back in. So I've got my little fence. Ooh. Look at how far that moved above. Now it's my choice to go back in there and either get rid of some of this or leave it that way. If I want to get rid of some of it, I add some more blue. And some water. And just kind of let it blend and do its thing. My lighthouse I've got to be super careful on because it's super small. Just gonna add, I mean, just a tiny little droplet of red, just a tiny little droplet of red, just tiny. Woo! And then let's add some water and look at it's already growing. I just added some water and look at it go. Now it may spread all the way out. Who knows what we're gonna get? Tiny little drop. And I may just leave it like that. If I wanted, I could go back in and add some blue. Let's add some blue to that side just so you can see. Add some blue in there, probably too much. And let's take away a little of that red. You're making your own rice paper. Lighten up some of that dark again. Did you see what I did? Okay, this was really dark. But if I go in and I add water, see how it lightens it up? Because I'm desaturating. So anywhere, see it's really dark right there and I can't see that part of the chair. But if I add some water, I have to be able to see what I'm doing. If I add some water, all of a sudden that part of the chair becomes visible again. And I'm not painting, I'm dabbing. I think I might be okay with this. Maybe a little green there. Maybe a little blue here. You know, I think I might be okay with that. Let's see. Red, gray, yellow, green, blue, blue. Now what color paper do I put it on though? Ooh, decisions, decisions. Do I like it on the gray? Look at how far that's come out. Do I want to add more because it's too far? Look at how easy that was to do. Now all I have to do is get rid of my sides. And I'm just gonna pull so I get that soft, whispery edge. And pull so I get that soft, whispery edge. This may be a little out of your wheelhouse, but it's not hard. And it gives you a beautiful watercolory effect without really doing any kind of watercoloring at all. The paper is not opaque, so you are able to use and change the look of the stamp and your coloring all by whatever color. Oh, I almost want to do, I think I'm going to do just that little edge right there and get that off, because I really love how that looks. And this one, just a little bit of that edge off, because I really love how that looks. And then just a little bit across the top to soften the edge, but not much, just to soften. Okay. So pending what I put it on, again, it will change the entire look of what I've done. And maybe sometimes you want to be precise in your coloring and you want to pull out your Aussie Andrew, your Couture Creations, alcohol ink markers. And sometimes you want to use your colored pencils because that's the look you're going for. But maybe sometimes you're looking for something soft and watercolory, and this works better for you. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Do we like it on this one, or do we like it on that one? You choose. I think that the dark blue will be too dark blue, but let's grab it just to be sure. Oh, I don't know. It looks good on that one too. You have to be the decision maker. No, I'm going to go with the gray. And I'm going to get my nori paste and nori paste it down. So you see how easy this is. All of you who have nori paste are like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do with it. Yes, this is what you're supposed to do with it. Do you like to work with, napkins and tissues? Nori paste will be your friend. It's an adhesive that was made for these types of papers. Do you have to use nori paste? No, you don't. You can use a clear adhesive. Just be a little more ginger with it. And I can go just over my entire image if that's what makes my heart happy. That's just going to cement it down to my paper, just like a Mod Podge. Could you use a Mod Podge? Sure, you could use a Mod Podge. Just cement it all the way down over my paper. Kind of locks everything in, puts everything down. All right, that's good. And then I would wait until it's dry if I'm using a trimmer, but since I am freehanding, Okay. So now we have colored the stamps. With markers. We palette painted with markers. And then we pulled out something that I thought was so unique and so fun and so easy. With white white rice paper that you then get to make your own. And rice paper, imagine wrapping it. Rice paper wraps around everything. You can wrap it around glass, you can wrap it around metal, you can wrap it around, because it is so thin, yet it's strong. And you have options. All right, the last thing I want to do, I should play with the dies at some point, but we'll see if we have time. The dies are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love my dies, and they all are doors or gates that open. I've done windows. I've done shutters. I just really like the idea that you can use them with or without these stamps. You can use them for anything. You may have a fairy stamp. You could take, my gosh, these would be fabulous. These would be amazing. This die would be amazing. And then you open it up and you've got your fairies behind it. This one or this one. I mean, the dies are just, they just make my heart happy because they're useful all the time. And but the stamps won my heart. I love my stamps. I love the designs because you can do something just as quick and as easy as this. Or you can really get in there and color the way you want to if you're using Copics or Couture Creations alcohol ink markers or Bronzil colored pencils or Bronzil watercolor pencils. You have so many options. So I think the last thing I want to do is, hello Stacy, where did you put, here it is. I think the last thing I want to do, let's get some more of my rice paper out. And there's 12 sheets in each set, in each pack. It's by Pink Ink, which is coming from Creative Expressions. We've got about 250 packs of rice paper. Just saying. If you're a rice paper fanatic, I'm imagining that you are like, holy smoke, you can paint this. You don't have to use markers. You can paint this. You can distress it. Anything that works with water, anything that lets you move with water. Oh, that just made my heart happy. Okay, so what one do I want to do? Maybe I'll do this one. And this one. Maybe we'll do the two houses again, since I have two pieces. All right, this time we're going to go a little different. Instead of using ink, I'm going to use a Versamark. What's a Versamark? Versamark is an embossing medium. It will leave a watermark if you ink this up with Versamark and stamp it on paper and don't do anything. It will leave a tone-on-tone watermark. You'll see this image in a slightly darker tone of whatever paper you're using. It's really easy to make backgrounds with a tone-on-tone. Just ink up a stamp that you love with Versamark and stamp all over your paper, and then you've made a background because it is a slight tone-on-tone. It's subtle, but it's beautiful. This time, I'm gonna use, let's see. I'm gonna use Versamark And again, I don't know if there's a benefit to using the smooth side or the textured side with the Versamark. I've done it both ways and I didn't find that there was one that was better than the other. So let's do this one on the smooth side of the paper, and let's just give a nice little press, and hopefully I get a good image. And I don't want to press too hard. Let's see what we've got. A little of the black transferred, but that's good. I can kind of see the image. And let's throw some embossing powder down on top of it. So with this one, let's use copper. Let's try copper. So can you see? I can see a little bit of the image from the black ink that was on my stamp still. We'll see if I've got enough Versamark down there to hold my copper. Ooh, a little something in there. So let's walk it on down. And anywhere the Versamark is, it's going to hold that embossing powder. Do you have to use Versamark? No, you can use a pigment-based ink. Pigment, not water-based, not dye-based. It has to be a pigment-based ink because that ink will stay wet long enough for you to put the embossing powder down. There's one. Now I'm going to put all of this away. And then how about on this one, we use, well, we did it in black. Let's just try it in like a gold. I don't know that we're gonna like it, but at least you'll see how it works. So again, Versamark. I wanna make sure that I've got a good coverage, but I don't wanna press too hard because I don't wanna press into the little negative spaces of my stamp. I just want that Versamark to sit on top of my stamped image. If I press too hard and I get it into all the little nooks and crannies of the opening, like the house. So I'm going to try and keep it from getting into the little openings of the house, because then if I press too hard with my hands, it's going to pick up that Versamark and embossing powder is going to want to stick to it. So I just want to be gentle with it, but I want to make sure I get everywhere. I think that's pretty good. And this time, this one I did, that one I did on the smooth side. This one I'm going to do on the more textured side. And down. And again, just a light rub. Nothing hard. You're not trying to get the ink to transfer. You're just trying to get that Versamark to stick to the paper. You're just trying to do a nice soft rub. If you press too hard, the stamp can gush a little bit because it's a clear stamp. Well, even a rubber stamp can gush, and then you can get blurry lines. And I'm just trying to give a nice rub. And we'll see how I do. So again, I was able to get a little bit of the ink that was on there prior transferred. So you can kind of see the image, which is nice because then I know where I didn't get embossing powder. And let's take, and I said black, right? Let's try black. No, black's not fun. Let's try gold. That's what I said. I think gold. Gold is more fun. I don't know if it's going to look good, but hey, what's the worst it can be? So a little bit of gold. Now all of you probably have this embossing powder because when we had the Stampendous embossing powder, the first go round, gosh, if you don't have the Stampendous embossing powder from this month's Say Yes to, no, not Say Yes to Spellbinders, Stamp It Up with Stampendous. We're doing, I think, 12 jars of embossing powder for like $10.99. These usually sell for $4.99 to $5.99. You are going to want to pick it up because it's got not only, I think it's got gold and silver, but it's got a bunch of fabulous colors. All right, I think I did pretty good, right? You're like, that's not gold, and the other one wasn't copper. Hold on, give me a second. You will see. If you've never seen heat embossing before, this is a magical moment. Just stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing so you can enjoy this magical moment because it really is like magic. Inside these bottles of embossing powder, it is a granulated plastic. So it's gold plastic that's been ground up fine, fine, fine. This is a detailed. And on that copper, same thing. No matter what embossing powder you're using, it has a plastic base to it. And when you heat it, it melts into a solid. So you're starting with a powder and you're going to end with a solid. You have to use a heat tool to make it work. You can't use your blow dryer. Blow dryer isn't going to happen. And if you use the heat tool on your hair, well, that's not good either. You're going to have to go to go get a haircut and get all the singed edges taken off. So this is the Sizzix heat tool, and it has 2 speeds. You can start with either speed, whatever you're most comfortable with. If you're just a newbie, you might want to start slow. If you've been doing this like me since the beginning of dirt, then you can go high. I can get way down on top. Some heat tools, all heat tools are not the same. Some of them get so hot that getting it this close to your paper burns your paper and your embossing powder. Yes, embossing powder can burn. If you let it sit there, the heat on it long enough, it will turn into the beautiful color it's supposed to, and then it will dull out. So I'm going to heat this up. And as I see it turn copper, I'm going to move along. So now I want you to see the difference. See, there's the magic. See, it starts like that, like blah. And there's the magic of the color. I'm going to put this aside just for a second, and I'm going to just grab this one real quick, and I'm going to put this one aside for just a second, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to ink it up with embossing, or with my Versamark, and I'm just going to do a quick stamp just so you can see. So okay, I just want to get some Versamark and some embossing powder on here just so you can see. For those of you who have never heat embossed before, there's my image. I didn't do a great image. I didn't do a whole image. I just wanted to get some down so you can see what can happen. Okay, that's good enough. I don't need to do any more than that. So here's my embossed and my, ooh, Stacy. Here's my image ready for the heat tool. And I bring over my heat tool. Don't worry, I'm going to finish those two. And I start heating. And I can see it turn. And I can see it turn. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, that looks great, right? And how quickly does it dry? The minute it's cool, it's dry. And I'm thinking I did a fabulous job, Stacy. Pat myself on the back until I go to color. And then anywhere I didn't get my heat tool and changed my powder into a solid, it literally wipes off. Goodbye. And now you do have to start all over again. So you always want to be sure that you've had your heat tool and you've changed every little inch into a solid, because you saw I just wiped it right off. That powder has to be set, and the Versamark is not a glue. It's an embossing medium. Don't be confused. It's not glue. You can't use it as a glue. It's not going to hold anything together. It's just going to give the embossing powder something to stick to until you can heat set. And mind you, this is gonna, I could, if I wiped my hand, every place that doesn't have that beautiful copper would wipe away right now because I haven't finished heat setting it. It's not glued down to my paper in any way, shape, or form. So as it turns, I'm moving. And then I think to myself, oh, that looks great, I'm good. But am I? Do you see that dark space? Do you see that? That's still powder. I haven't made that into that pretty copper embossing. No, this is still powder, and if I touch it, it's going to wipe away. I have it here too. I need to continue to heat set. That has not changed into my solid yet. And now I look at it. Does that look like it's heat set to you? That looks pretty good to me. Look at how pretty is that color. But Stampendous is no longer in business. But we do have their embossing powder on sale. So there's one. Now let's do the gold. And remember, it's not heat set yet. So if I touch it, it's just going to go away. It's going to go away. Anywhere I see darkness, okay, that looks pretty good, but I can tell you I missed that spot right there. And I might have missed a spot way down here. Looks a little dark, maybe some over on the side. Can you see the difference? So I need to heat and change them. Okay, I think that looks better. I still think that might be one little spot in the middle. Okay, So now I have got my gold. And now I can do a wash, rinse, and repeat. Grab a piece of paper. Use it as my background. And again, you may end up keeping some of these and doing some things with these backgrounds that I've made just by using them. I mean, that's a really cool background. I'd use it. So let's put it on top. And now I can go in with my markers. And let's see. And where that embossing is, the ink is going to resist. And my paintbrush. And a ton of water. And just start laying my water down. And letting those colors do their thing. And wherever the embossing is, it's going to resist the color of the ink. And you're going to be able to see that gold coming through. Nope, just got the window. And it's literally just going to fill any place that has paper showing. It's going to fill. Water. And that embossing is going to resist and it's just going to fill any place that there is rice paper. Take my yellow. Pull some of that. I got a lot of brown in the windows up top. My ink ran right into the windows. I'm just going to take some of that water and I'm going to pull some of that brown out because water makes it move. Pull some of that brown out and desaturate it. And then add some yellow for my windows. All about options. And just go in there and color. I'm not trying to paint. I'm trying to add the water to make the ink move and run. If you're not a painter, no worries, you can do that. Oh, that sky is looking good. You can do this. You've got it. Let's try this one real quick. I put the green kind of down the center of everything so that when it moves, it has a space to go to. Got a little water down here. And the ink resists the copper because the copper is now a plastic. And I can put little, maybe yellow, pink, little pink berries in here maybe. No, pink's not pink enough. Let's go maybe purple berries. Let's have a little purple going on. And you just go. But now you've got that embossing as your backdrop to play with. And I could go and go and go and let's see this one. Oh, maybe we want a blue house. And a little bit of water. And let that blue run. And maybe I want a shabby blue house. Maybe I want it a little darker. And you make your own rice paper. Maybe it's a cloudy day. And we want to make gray clouds in the sky. It's a stormy day, not here in California. So you know where this house isn't? In California. And we let it storm. It's all about the options. It's all about what you want to do with it. And then when you're all done, you take it and find the paper that you like the best, that it's going to look great against. And you go. Where's that? Nope, too dark. That's better. And you go. The rice paper gives you so much opportunity, and you can see that you can emboss on top of it. Not a problem at all. It's all what you want to make of it. You got this. You can do this. And then there are the dies. And the die cutting machine, and I'll cut one just because, but let's see. Like this one is beautiful. I love this. Let me grab a piece of paper. Could you die cut the rice paper? Sure you can. Absolutely. Why not? There's pretty much nothing that rice paper will not allow you to do. Sure, I could die cut the rice paper and then color it and put it on top of another die cut if I wanted to be able to open. You know what? That's starting to look really pretty. Now that my gray sky is going out, I'm really digging on that. Huh, we might save that and make a sample. We'll see. Okay, so to die cut, I've got my base plate, I've got my solo shim. I would absolutely use a precision base plate for all of these dies in this collection. I've got the die face up, ridges facing me, paper face down, and then a do not cut plate or a clear plate, whatever you're using. Something that you don't mind if it gets a little warped or a little impressed on. And there we go. Do I need to do a rotate? I don't think so. Nope. Precision base plate at its best. And then you've got your scoring, your score lines, you'll score them, and then score lines on either side here and here. You don't have to put them in, the die comes with it, and then you will be able to open it. Or, as Elena did, she kept everything closed. She kept it all closed and used it as a pocket. She used all of them as a pocket. Let's see. How about this one? So let's swap it out. Piece of black paper. What did I just do with the black paper I had? That was so 5 minutes ago. Easy peasy. Send it through. Again, precision base plate. And if you're using a switch, grab your plate, grab your solo shim, grab your precision base plate, grab your die and your paper, send it through with this sandwich as opposed to using your big plates. You only want to use your big plates in your switch machine when you're using big dies. Otherwise, use, even if you only have the big plates, then get some smaller sets of the plates. We have the multi-pack. I would get the multi-pack that gives you 3 sizes. That way you're not using something so big to cut something so small. That's what causes them to warp, is that there's no structure here, there's no structure up here. There's nothing in there to keep it from warping. So you really want to, in fact, I need to grab myself some multi-plates. You really want to use plates that are close to the size of the die you're working with. It'll keep your plates from warping a whole lot longer. Okay, so I'm going to rotate just because this one's a little more intricate, although it felt pretty good going through. And hopefully I don't double cut. But we'll see. I might have. Time will tell. Ooh, I think I did. I think I double cut. Yep, I sure did. Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh. Told you this one was a little more intricate than that one, the first one. And this is why I do my own brand. Not that other people don't have amazing dies, they do. But I have ideas and thoughts. And sometimes I can't just tell a manufacturer, will you make this for me, please? They're like, yeah, no. Sometimes they say yes if you'll buy all of them. And I say, well, how many is all of them? And they'll say 5,000. And I'm like, okay, well, no. All right, well, I'm not going to get it all out. But you get the idea. Yay. So it's a beautiful die. Get all the bits and pieces out, and that's a beautiful die. And then you could, if you wanted to, go in and cut it down and put it on top. You have options, and since this is a vertical, I could use this one too. You have options. So remember, if you are buying a set, any one that comes with a die also comes with the stamp. If you buy the die, you're getting the stamp too. If you're buying the stamp and it doesn't say anything about a die, then you're just getting the stamp. So, my gosh, we did a ton today. We worked with the rice paper. We started just coloring, just so you could see that you can just color with markers and either straight to the paper, or you can use palette painting and to get your shading and shadowing and definition. But then we moved into the rice paper, and the rice paper is pretty darn magical. Yes, it will warp the paper underneath because I had it so wet when I put it on. Remember how wet this was? If you let your rice paper dry first and then put it onto your backing paper, you're not going to have the same problems. I was playing with these a little earlier today. Just little snippets. Just tiny little snippets of the stamp. And see this one? This one, I didn't heat set my embossing powder long enough, and I lost the top of my lighthouse. Oh no, and I just took tiny little snippets of it. We did this one. And we did that one. And then we got into playing with the embossing powder. So much can be done. Who knew there was plain rice paper? I like my stormy sky. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so what's on sale today? Holy smokes. All right, so we'll have all the markers from Violet Studios. There's a 30 pack. I only have one set of the 30 pack. There's two 12 packs, and if you buy these, you might as well get the 30 pack because it's basically the same price. Then they have the glitter markers and the fine liners. I didn't even use these today, but they'll still be, we'll have these available. The discount, the best price, is when you get the whole bundle. You've got the 30 set in here, and it has 6 more markers than, it has 6 more markers. Oh, I can't even get it out. The 30 pack. And that's all the marker I was using today, was just these. For everything that I did, I used just those. We'll have the nori paste on sale, absolutely. The pink ink rice paper will be on sale. Yes, limited, sorry. They didn't know I was gonna use it. I don't always tell a manufacturer, hey, I wanna use this product. I just go in and I buy it all. I just go buy it all. And then they're like, Stacy must be doing something with this because we're all of a sudden out of stock. So I bought what they had. It will take weeks and weeks and weeks before they can get more in. We'll put the India ink and the Versamark on sale, so you have it. And we'll put the mini turbo on sale, the sprayer, because this is like the best sprayer ever. It even has a way to stop it so that you can lock the sprayer. Love it. This is best from Couture Creations. All right, so again, if you want just the stamps, you can buy just one stamp. You can buy 2 stamps. You can buy 3 stamps. You can buy all 4 stamps. You do not have to buy them with the dies. The stamps are sold separately. There's an I want it all for the stamps, or you can buy them individually, and they are a full A2 size. If you want the stamp and the die set, then you buy the set of them. So if you're getting the die, you don't have to buy the stamps separately. I need to make sure I explain that. So here we have the stamp and the die. Love this. Saw that as a gate. I think we were driving through Brentwood and somebody had that as their gate, and I'm like, stop! I need to take a picture. So here is that set. Here's the stamp. There's the gate. Here's the stamp and the gate together. And then Elena she put it with she put it with everything. She didn't give me a way to open them. So there it is with oh my gosh, with the beach scene, and she has it with the, Elena, did you glue these down? She has it with the Vineyard Hill set. And then she also put it with, she could just cut the house down. Very smart. All right. Holy smokes. Okay. I bet she did that for all of them. So then we have the hilly, scenic lavender fields. Love this die. I do. And then again, with the stamp underneath it. And you'll see on her samples, she kept these together. And then she made it a pocket. Brilliant idea. Oh, yep, she sure did. So here you've got it with, because it's a vertical, it takes, there you go, you've got the vertical. One house is vertical, one house is horizontal. Oh yeah, she just cut them on down. Oh, there, she just cut them on down. She's so smart. The beach scene, she's so smart. Then we have the stamp, the die, and the 2 together. And she's done it with all of the different, just to show you can. I'm not going to open them up. And then last but not least is the beach scene. So here is the stamp. Here's the die. Same thing. I saw an image like this. And it said hello at the top of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that would make the best die ever. It was like a wood hanging. And I'm like, oh man, that's a great die. I need to do something like that. And then here she put them with all the different, she's so, okay. So let's do samples. Let's start with Claire. So you've got the front. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Nope, that's back, that's forward. You've got the front and then her water scene. This is Claire. And then here she found paper. Look at how beautiful the paper is. and she put the gates right on top of it, and she just used a piece of paper, and that's stunning. And here, she's watercolored the house and then the gates. And here, again, she just found paper. That works well with it. That's just paper. And then the gates, the doors. And again, look at the beautiful, that paper's beautiful. I don't know if she pre-embossed it or if she had embossed paper, but that's, what's the back side of the other? Hello. That's great, Claire. Look at how pretty that is. And then open. And then and open, close. I think this is, maybe this is very farm-esque in the UK. Rolling hills and little countryside farm. And then she did a little hanging. And she used the rice paper. She didn't add any water. She just colored it as it was. No water at all. And then we have Belinda. Love Belinda's. This is beautiful. And Belinda. Oh, that looks great. So some are you like, oh, you're covering up the pretty design, the stamping with the doors. No, it's like a special treat. Once you open them up, then you get to fully appreciate what's behind them. It's like, what's behind door number 3? Oh, right? That's Belinda. Then we have Elena. Oh, yes, I'll take door number 3. Thank you very much. I just love these. I shouldn't love as much as I do, but I do. And then Elena, like I said, she kept some of them closed. And she made a pocket. And here's the stamp. That's clever. Boy, she brought these in and everybody did a double take. Everybody is like, oh, that's really good, Elena. We should have thought of that. So you have your doors and your house. And your gate and your ocean. And I really can see this one behind with the fairies. Your gate and your cottage. And then you've got your, so she's die cut this and backed it and kept the doors together. And she's made another tag. So I think she did one for all of them. She used the die to do this. Yep, she's used the die. She's used paper on paper, which gives it, so she used the same paper twice. She die cut out of the paper and then she attached it to that exact same paper. And that gives it almost an embossed feel. And then her bookmark. So clever. It's a cute little bookmark. That's a clever little gift. Inexpensive. You can make, once you own the die and the stamp, you can make 1,000,000 of them. And same thing, you can't tell. But she's She's die cut that, and it's beautiful, really beautiful, Elena. A whole nother way to use those dies as opposed to using them as gates, and she made great little bookmarks out of them. Great little pockets. And then she also did a clipboard, and she's used all the stamps and just layered and colored, and she Mod Podged it on down, and she made a clipboard. What do they cost? These cost $1 at the dollar store, $1.25. Think of all the gifts you could make, the little mini ones, and my gosh, you could take pretty little stamps and do your white rice paper and make them girly. You could make them to everybody's liking because they'll all be slightly different depending on the stamps that you use. Here we have Doris. Now she used embossing powder to do that. So Doris. This one's beautiful. This one's beautiful. And here she's done, is it a Z-fold card? So it goes like this, and you open it like that, and then the surprise continues because then you put it in like that, and it Z-easels for you. Ha, 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 ha. It's all about just scoring the paper. Look at how fabulous that is. And then she's got it on the inside too. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So it's a gift that keeps giving because it's a card that can sit on their desk. And look at behind. So there's one of her Z-folds. I have 2 of them. So here, starts like this. And they're like, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful is that? And this, she did use the copper embossing powder. Oh, it's so pretty. And then you can open it up, and there's her sentiment, and then you can keep it on your desk or in your kitchen or wherever it is, on your dresser. There we go. No, stop. Come on. There we go. No, there we go. Okay, I've got it. By George. Look at how cute. And it's just right there. Look at. So those are Doris. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. And like I said, I think that you probably have a majority of the product that I used today. I'm hoping you do. That way you can pull them out and play with them and maybe look at them in a new way once you add in that plain, white, boring, what do you do with this rice paper? I knew I wanted it. I didn't know what I wanted it for. I didn't know what I was going to use it for, but I knew I'd come. Why wouldn't you want plain white? Why would they manufacture it? But I've never seen anybody do anything. And there may be a million YouTubers out there that have used plain white rice paper. I don't know. I don't watch anybody else's YouTubes. I don't even watch mine. So, so hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully something made you go, I think I can do that. Or, gosh, I never thought about trying that. It's not my typical look, but let me give it a whirl. Yes, give it a whirl. And the Simply Defined dies and stamps, well, those you're going to have to find here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. Because again, I don't private label a lot of things. There's not a lot of, I don't need ink, and I don't need sequins or watercolor pencils, or I don't need any of that stuff under my own name. There are amazing companies already out there that do a beautiful job making that product, and we need to support our manufacturers. If our manufacturers go out of business, we go out of business. So the only things I really do put my name on, Simply Defined or Simply Refined, are things that I couldn't find someplace else, or that I had an idea and I wanted to do a design. So that product you will have to find exclusively here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. Just know it is always value priced for you. everyday pricing value. So other things, the Versamark you might be able to find at your local retailer. Water or dual tip pens you might be able to find at your local retailer if you don't have them. If you've got a mom and pop, shop them. And if not, then come online and find us. So, all right, you guys, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Thanks for being here today. I'll see you next week when we have 2.5 staff members back. Woo woo. Woo woo. It has been a long, it's been a long 2 weeks, let me tell you. Woo woo. Woo woo. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.